Are we ready? Are we ready? Are we live? We are live. Hey. Welcome everybody to live inside this amazing group. Let's see. I need to close some stuff, which I'm not really sure what else I would close. One second. Technical difficulties. Hey, everybody. So welcome replay viewers. Welcome those of you that are joining live. I just lost my video feed. There we are. Facebook's giving me some issues. I don't know. It's all good. And so maybe I need to start going through Zoom or something because Facebook's always being a little funky, but that's okay. We love Facebook, love it or hate it. All right, welcome everyone. Today we're going to be talking about this one thing that is making McDonald's millions that you should be or could be implementing in your business today. What is that? What does that look like? How can you start implementing it? That's what we're really going to be talking about. So hello, my name is Brenda 𝗂𝗪𝗃𝗏. I've been a business strategist for like the last 10 years. And I've been helping so many men. That has been most of my demographic. And I love being in this women group. I am a little bit new to it. And I see so many impactful women doing some amazing things in here. And it's just actually really awesome for me to see. So I'm just kind of getting my desktop just flipped around just a little bit, so make sure I have everything here because I got some cool things to share with you and I want to make sure that I stay on topic and not veer out. So what I'm going to be talking about today obviously is an upsell. I'm not going to get into that, but this right here, this is future money. That's the best way that I can tell you. It is the most easiest and fastest way for you to actually get money in your business, and it's what I consider future money because this money is technically money that you are pulling out of thin air that is ready and waiting to come to you when you implement this one question in your business at the perfect time, crafted correctly, and it's ready to go. So how many of you guys are ready to get into this? How many of you want this easy, fast way? Let me know in the comments. Let me know that you're here. Engagement is always awesome, and I certainly appreciate that because this interface here is a little bit new than what I'm actually used to. So if you're catching the replay, let me know. We are going to be talking about easy, fast, fun money, but we're really doing it in a very strategic way because I do want to... I'm not oblivious to the point that fast, easy money, just ask one question and I can make millions seems a little bit far-fetched, right? We're not talking get rich quick. We're not talking just like, oh, you know, this is something that you can do immediately in 10 seconds, you're going to make millions. Like, that's not what happens. And so, hey guys, thanks for hopping on here. Appreciate it. Ready to go for sure. Yes, because here's the thing. Me, myself, personally, I have left hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table by not implementing an upsell either correctly or even at all in my business. And back in the day, way back in the day, a lot of internet marketing, upsells weren't even really a thing. They started coming around maybe about 2012, 2013, more in the mainstream. And so you would see like the one-click upsells. And sure, there's like some cool ways to do it with technology. But really what I want to pull you back a little bit is the strategy behind what an upsell is inside your business and how to really start utilizing it. And also why people aren't utilizing it, and it makes sense, and try to kind of overcome that a little bit so that you can really see this working for you in your business, okay? So sound pretty good. Hey, Claire, Carla, Andrea, Jackie, Anna, thanks for being on here. I really appreciate it, okay? So with the concept of an upsell, and the reason we just basically say, hey, do you want to make a butt ton of money this year? This is how you do it. Like, the reason we say that is because asking this one question, it really can be effortless. And that's what I really want the theme for 2022 to be, not in just my business, my client's business, your business, effortless. You don't really have to work so many hours, work really hard to make the money that you deserve. It's a really true theme. And I'm not talking about time equation like, oh, you know, you work 40 hours, you should make this. I mean, you can make $1 million in an hour. It happens. Not so much that, but just the thought process. We have so much stuff to do in our business, in our life, in our marriages, as parents, as siblings, like all of that stuff, the logistics that come along with it. We don't really have to work that hard in our business as long as we're working smart and we have our clients' best interest in mind. That's really it. So let's get into it. I went to the dictionary to look up the actual definition of upsell because I kind of was like, well, I know what an upsell is. I know how we're using it. What does the actual dictionary say? Just because I'm curious. And I kind of like was blown away. It dropped my jaw a little bit. I'm going to read it to you because I was like, I don't want to mess this up. So the definition said, an attempt to convince a customer to purchase something additional or more costly. And as soon as I read that, I was like, wow, an attempt to convince? Like, if an upsell is done correctly, there is no convincing, no persuading, no sliding in there to grab money, like not at all. And if that's the actual definition that's out there, maybe that's one of the reasons why people are actually hesitant to use it, because you feel like you have to convince somebody to give you more money. And I just want to, before we get into this, like, that is so not true. An upsell should actually, which for one, yes, it's an additional offer to what you just asked your client to pay for. It could be done right after they made the sale. Let's just use coaching, very generic, because a lot of people are coaches in here. It does apply to anything. And I'm going to give you some good examples too, so you can see how this applies in your business. But coaching per se, like you just said, hey, my package right here is $3,000 for 6 weeks. Like, that's it. They say, yes, I'm ready to go. They buy it. And then a little bit later, you come back whenever, and you're like, hey, you know what? Would you also like to get this? Total great upsell. It could be done a little bit later. It doesn't have to be done immediately. It also can be done actually before they say yes. You can say, hey, you know what? This is what my package is. It is, what did I say? It's $3,000 for 6 weeks. And they're like, okay, that sounds pretty good. And you can kind of tell that they're ready, green lights. And you're like, well, actually, you know, I do have another option. If you would actually like to get some extra one-on-ones and we have this done for you, you know, that was $15,000. Is that something you'd be interested in also? So they haven't even said yes, but then all of a sudden you've offered them something additional or better. That's the key word for an upsell. That's what you really want your business to really be thinking about as you're starting to implement this. An upsell should make your original offer faster for them to implement, easier for them to implement, cheaper sometimes. Maybe their output of what it is that they do is cheaper, or absolutely better. If your next question that they are okay to spend money with, because certainly a higher level client cares way more about their time than they do their money. All right, so it really depends on who you're attracting in your business. If you're playing around in the $5 to $7 range and some, you know, all the freebie area, you might need a little bit of a mind shift, and that's totally fine. But a premium client, which obviously we all want premium clients, they want stuff done faster, easier, cheaper, better, and they're actually willing to pay more for that. So you got to keep that in mind. So if your upsell that you're creating in your business will help them with that, it's like, I don't want to say it's a home run, because sometimes you got to work on those things, but it's a really, really good thing. There's no convincing. They are like, yes, please help me, right? We value our time, especially as women. We absolutely value our time. So what can we do? Because like, if you think about it, people don't go into McDonald's and be like, I just want some fries. Most people don't go through just for some fries. Now, I know maybe some kids might do that. My youngest one was like, all she wanted was the fries. I do get that. But really, people are going there because they want the burger, they want the sandwich. And then McDonald's asks that one question. We all know it. And I'm using them because they actually, they didn't phrase it, but they coined this, you know, one question, and everybody else started following it. But they asked, what? Do you want fries with that? And then they started asking, do you want fries and a Coke with that? And so that one simple little question, that they train those young teenagers back in the day to just say at the cash register, do you have any idea how much money they made just by asking that question? Like, I actually went to go look at it because I wanted to see, and the stats are from 2 years ago, but it was $28 million more just by asking that one question. Like, that's a big, big deal. So the power of an upsell by asking that question in your business is it's key. So what I want to do right now is I want to give you 3 examples of clients that I've actually worked with that implemented this upsell. One of them was by accident. It was amazing because it totally blew her mind. And then the other 2, and they're in a little bit different niches so that you could probably take whatever it is that you do and kind of feel like, oh, you know what, that would make sense in my business, okay? And so, yeah, right? Like, I just thought I've got a little delay here, but like, yeah, we are talking hundreds of thousands and actually millions, even in small businesses. That's the key. When I say, like, you want to make a butt ton of money this year, like, I'm not saying that really facetiously. It's really like, what if it was that easy? What if it really is that easy? And I'm telling you, it actually is. Yes, there's some strategy, but it really is that easy. So let me actually give you examples. I have them written down because I want to make sure that I'm giving you the actual thing. Okay, so here's, I just love this one, and you'll appreciate it too, okay? So Danielle, this was way back in the day. She was actually one of my really early clients. I think it might have been like 2010, and she was like 20 years old, brand new on the internet, very, very techy, like super, super techy. I didn't interact with her. We did internet marketing back there, and I found out that she caught on so quick to this tech stuff, and I was just like, oh, she's kind of a whiz. That's cool. And she was doing really well, and we had her stuff and we did everything, but maybe it was like 6 months later, interacted back again. She came back on to just some extra coaching, and in that 6 months her business exploded, which was pretty cool. She's like, I did everything that you told me, and I did this and I did this, and then she went on to do more. So we were talking a little bit, and she herself was actually autistic. She was on the spectrum, which super functioning, obviously, but it kind of made sense when I just realized. I was like, oh, okay. So she decided to take all of that knowledge and create a coaching business to help parents that had children with autistic, tendencies, on the spectrum, Asperger's, anywhere in there. That's what she was doing. So she was actually coaching the parents. That was what she was doing. And she had, so she had a $12,000 offer for 3 months to coach the parents. Well, this is the accidental one. One parent was like, hey, you know what? She was like 20. So she was very young, acted, she wasn't a parent. And so one of the parents was like, could you actually talk, instead of coaching me, I want you to do that, but could you also talk to my son? Could you interact with them? Because if they see you doing this, then, that would be super helpful. So that was like a game changer, and she never even thought about it. So she was like, yeah. And they're like, well, how much would that be? And she literally just blurted out the number. She did like the quick math in her head, and she was like, well, it would be $60,000. And not even thinking that she was going to get it. She was like, oh my God, I can't believe they said yes. And so within that month, she put in 4 clients, and 100% of them actually took that upsell, because what she said, and I wrote it in here, she said, would you like it if I also talk to your child every week to give them more of a kid's perspective? So not only was she helping the parents so that, that would happen, but then she was helping the kids. Every single parent was like, yeah. And so all she really had to do was actually hop on a 30-minute call once a week and actually talk to kids that she could relate to, and she made so much money. So that one little question with just 4 people, and these are the only stats that I really had, instead of making $48,000 in a month, which is totally awesome, right? She made $240,000. And how much more of her time really did that actually, take? Not a lot. So just by that, can you see the power of this one question? I mean, it really did fall in her lap, but it opened up her mind to like, wow, look at all these things that we can do. So just for you, like, what are some extra areas, or what are some extra things that maybe can start floating around? Because that's a really cool question of what else could you do. It made the experience faster? No, it was still 3 months, but it made it better, and it made it easier. And so her testimonials actually got better, right? So that's a perfect example of how to use that in that business. So, okay, let me go to another one. So I'll go a little bit quicker in here because I want to be respectful of our time. So this one was Glenn. He was a traffic and conversion coach. So this one was all really strictly internet marketing, okay? And so they had a small offer. So him and his partner, they had a small offer. So it was between like $7 and $97. Okay, so even if you're down you're not selling high ticket, you're doing like a low front end offer, this still works. Okay, this is the one that actually made millions. Okay, so stay with me, because their front end offer was a $7 to $97 course. Okay, a lot of us have courses in here, right? So that was the thing. They, were selling that for a while. I'm looking over here because I was like, this was a little while ago, because these are the ones that stuck into my head. And I was like, oh yeah. So what they find was the same kind of thing. They had a couple people saying, hey, that's super cool. I really like this course, but is there any way that like you could do some of this stuff for me? And it was more automation. So if you are getting questions of people, people are asking you stuff, that's a great way to start thinking maybe that should be an upsell. And so they were like, hey, can you do this? So they thought after the fact. They were like, we just made, what was it? I don't know. I don't know how many front-end buyers they have. I didn't say that. So they had a bunch of people that bought that, okay? A bunch of people made a bunch of money between $97 offer. And they went and said, hey, all of you buyers, they just had a good idea. People were like, hey, can we do this for you? And they were like, actually, we could do this for you. We can outsource this totally fine. They did one webinar and got all of their buyers on this webinar. And so, 800. So 800 people showed up on this webinar for buyers. And so they said, hey, would you like us to actually do A, B, and C for you? You got the course, done for you type of thing. Out of the 800, 232 of them said yes, and it was a $4,000 upsell. Totally doable for $4,000. Like, you'll do all this for me? Like, please take my money, right? People will do that faster, easier, right? So from those front-end buyers between a $7 and $97, they had over 200 people that paid them $4,000. That is $900,000 on that first webinar. And they followed up with people for the first week, or right after that, they got an additional whatever. So there were 664 people that said yes. They made over $2 million from that front end. So yes, they had some things strategically in place. They did a webinar and they were talking to people, but it was that question. It made them millions, and really their output was just finding some tech people to actually set up the stuff. It wasn't a big thing. So but ton of money, excuse me, but yeah, right? Just by thinking a little bit different. So are you guys vibing with this a little bit? Do you see how powerful this actually is? It's just, it blows my mind. And so the last one I want to do real quick, because this was my husband's, and this was a real life situation. And it was just a couple months ago, and he was here in Florida. So I'm in Florida. We also live in Arkansas. We bounce back and forth. And so, so we were here. He went to a new barber that he hadn't been to, because he usually gets his haircut up there. So he was here. And so it's $30 for this haircut. And he told me about it after the fact, because he was like, I literally just changed that guy's life. And I'm like, why? You just got your haircut, right? But this is the stuff that can really change people's lives. And so he's sitting there just getting his haircut, and he notices the guy next door, or next to him, has the towel and the shave thing going on. And he didn't even know that they did that. And so he had to ask. He was like, oh, do you guys do hot towels and shaves? And the guy was like, oh yeah, we do. And he didn't even ask him if he wanted it. He just said, yeah. And so Justin was like, well, yeah, I would actually like that. And he was like, okay. So after that was kind of done, he looks around and he sees all these people that don't have that hot towel thing. And he was like, dude, how many haircuts do you do a day? And how many, times do you ever ask if people want a hot towel? And the guy was like, never. I've never asked if anybody wants a hot towel and shave. They had just always asked him. So Justin was like, dude, why don't you just ask every single person that comes in, do you want a hot towel and shave? How much is that? And he was like, well, that's actually $70. Double what it costs just the haircut for what? How long is that? I don't know, 15, 20 minutes? Really, I don't know. But not a lot. And so Justin went back, I don't know, month, 2 months later, whatever. And the guy was like, you've changed my business. And so he gave him the stats, because obviously Justin was curious. And he was like, okay, so he does 10 haircuts a day. So it's $300. Right? 10 haircuts a day for 300 days. That's what he told him. So out of the people that he was asking, 3 out of 10 of them said yes. So $40 more times 3, $120 more a day that this barber was getting. And you times that by the $300 he was doing a year, and that was $36,000 for this barber asking one question. So I say these examples, and these are the examples that I thought of right before this live, because I was like, okay, we've got so many of these. Let me go back and let's just ones that popped out of my head, because it's just something that's really coming in tune that I don't see it being used that often. So can you guys see the power of this? Are you starting to see maybe how you could come up with something in your business about this? So let me know in the comments. I see you're like, whoa, just ask. Yeah, the key, what did you see, Julie? The key is knowing how to do it well. So great point right there. So the key is really, it's just a couple things. Let me just kind of hop back over here, because I want to make sure that I'm just getting into everything right here. Okay, yeah, the key is more so why people aren't doing it. And that was it, because the key is, if you figure this out, you got it. So why aren't you doing it? Or maybe what's holding you back? And what I've seen so far, because I've been doing this for a really long time, is that it mostly comes down to the time that's one of them. Mental energy, time thing, but like it does take time to figure out what is your perfect upsell. What makes it easier, faster, quicker, cheaper, whatever it is. What is that for your business, okay? But then you also have to figure out how are you going to implement it. Right? Because if it doesn't take that much time for you to implement it, time or energy, that's awesome. But if you're creating a really cool upsell that now you have to go figure out how to deliver, maybe it's worth it, maybe it's not. Most people say, yeah, I know I should be doing that. Yeah, that's kind of down there. But you know what? Doing this and I'm doing this. I got my sales calls. I got to follow up with people. I got to do all this stuff. Okay. And then it's absolutely true. Okay. So keeping that in mind, one of the things that I just want to share with you right now, as far as this goes, is that it really becomes where's your focus? Because if what we've seen is that, yes, we want to talk about future money. Yes, we want all of our clients to talk about future money. But if you can't leverage all the crap that you got going on, what I consider past and present money, you can't really leverage your future money as well as you want to. So really looking at the systems that you have in place, can we leverage some things? Can we take some things out? Can we redo some of the stuff, the strategy behind just kind of finding extra hidden money in your business, which might give you 2 weeks to just like stop and do some things? There's a lot that you actually can do just to give yourself some more free time so that you can focus on this. So there's some things to actually think about. And honestly, I would be so happy to hop on a quick call. This is not a sales call, to actually just talk about your upsells, because really an outsider perspective is what makes the most difference. Because you inside your business, it's hard to coach yourself in your business. Like, I mean, I've been a business coach for over 10 years. Sometimes I'm like, okay, let's coach myself. And I can't even see it because you just see through your own eyes. You just know too much sometimes, and you've got stories and all these things. So if you are interested in like hopping on a quick 10-15 minute chat, what is your upsell? If you don't know, we could brainstorm a couple things to actually help you leverage this in 2022. I would love to do that. I've got some time today and tomorrow. I actually opened up my calendar because this gets me excited. All the strategy and all of the amazing cool things that we also do, like that's like kind of Justin's area. He gets to work on that, and I like it too. But this, creating things, taking money out of thin air, making things better so that your life can be way more enjoyable and spend it on the, I don't know if you can read that or if it's mirror, but creating your own freedom, like that's my jam. And that's what I want to help people do. So let me know if that's something that you would like to do. Put a comment, even if you guys are watching the replay, you're not here live, put a comment, upsell. Put the comment upsell inside here. I will absolutely reach out to you, or feel free to just DM me, send me a little message and say, hey, I'd love to chat. We could just hop on a call real quick and kind of just go over what makes the most sense for you. So you get to leverage this amazing question inside your business and become one of these amazing stats, right? Like it's super cool. So, and honestly, if we are not friends, I'm a little bit new inside this group. I've definitely worked with a lot of men over the years, and I love working with this woman. So I'd love to connect with you. So feel free, please send me a friend request. I'd love to hang out with you. And yeah, Noelle, you are so right. It is so helpful to have just other people look into your business. It's almost like I even forgot that even just a couple weeks ago, because I really found myself going into 2022, kind of getting that energy where like you got to do it all on your own. And I think us as women tend to do that because we maybe have in the past, where it's really more of a collaboration. And I read a book called Who Not How. I will totally recommend that to any of you. Who Not How. Who could help you get to your results faster? Who's that who for you instead of focusing on the how? Totally off topic, but it's a pretty cool book. So yeah, that being said, I don't want to take up any more of your time. Thanks for hanging out with me. I love the comments. This is really awesome. This is just my second live. I did one right before Christmas, but I haven't done them in years, and it's just fun to kind of be back out in the game. So, Anna, I will absolutely be reaching out to you. Super awesome. Thanks guys for your time and attention. Send me a message and connect up with me. And I'll be going live every week, every Thursday is what my plan is, because I got lots of cool fun things to share. And I was like, hey, I don't need to do this all on my own. Maybe I can be that who for somebody else. So have a great day, everyone. Who, not how. Absolutely. Yes, that is such a, it's kind of common sense, but it was such a great book. And I was every chapter, I was like, okay, I got it. Like, okay, I got it. And then they'd say something else. I'm like, oh, that was good. And they'd say something else. Oh, that was good. So I would recommend that, especially if you're starting to feel like, oh, I got to do all this on my own. Faster results, 2022. that's the year. And an upsell is just one of the strategies that can really help you get there. So thanks for your attention, Andrea, or Andrea, because my daughter is Andrea and it looks like Andrea. But either way, thank you. You're absolutely welcome. And I look forward to talking to you guys virtually, in person, in the group, maybe one day in person. So have a great day, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.